Hello children, welcome to your 8th social class. In our previous class, I started the topic called ancient civilization. In the ancient civilization, we have continued the topic pre-Rigvedic period which starts from 1500 BCE to 1000 BCE, and here we have seen how the life of the people. There I told you I started the topic social system, how the people were lived in the society, as that they are mainly dependent on the Rigveda. Rigveda, which is consisted of 1028 shlokas. These 1028 shlokas was divided as a 10 mandalas. Isn't it, children? Then, as per that, they used to live their society. Now, I am in the part of a pre-Rigvedic period, children. There we are studying these part. I have done social system, and social system we have referred that there is a concept called Purusha Sukta. Purusha Sukta means it was Adi Purusha. Adi Purusha itself, the term itself says that he is the first person who was created by the God. I repeat once again, the term called Purusha Sukta, which means the first person of a creation was created by the God. What does it mean? Adi Purusha means he is a one person who was first created by the God. As per that, people assume that the Adi Purusha's mouth was compared to Brahmana, and the shoulder was compared to the Kshatriya, thighs were compared to the Vaishyas, and the feet was compared to the Shudras. Depending on these four divisions, the Varna system was they were followed. Varna system, you know, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. This was the class system that was existed in the pre-Rigvedic period, children. Okay, till now it was clear. And then the next system was economic system. Economic system in the sense, now only you can study the society around us, how the people are living, how they are mingling, how they are celebrating their rituals, everything. That is a society, right? And in the society we can see the different caste of the people, isn't it, children? That is a social system. Whereas economic system, in a sense, you take a present economic system in the sense, now we can see different occupation of the people, isn't it? We cannot exactly tell that all are teachers, all are doctor, all are a scientist. The classification or the occupation of the people are different depending upon their habit or depending upon their choice. So, in the pre-Rigvedic period also, we previously have seen, when I told about the introduction of the class, what was that historian and archaeologist has found the evidence regarding the cultivation and the information and regarding about agricultural farming, then animal husbandry they got, then animal breeding they have noticed, isn't it? Then also they have noticed about the trade with the other civilizations. So that as referred as a economic system. So children, here in economic system we in the sense archaeologist or the historian has noticed that people used to have a habit of a cultivation, and cultivation was there, that the cultivation land was called as a kshetra. The land which they are doing cultivation, that was called as a kshetra, and the cultivation or field which they get in return, that was called as a krishi. Is it clear, children? Then also notice that there was an animal husbandry, cattle rearing. This has been noticed by our historian. Then among that there is an economic habit in the sense, you see, now which is our economic habit, children? Acquiring more money, that is our economic habit, isn't it, children? Observe, because all human beings want to acquire more and more income or more and more money, so that their economic condition has to be increased. So even that period also we can see their economic habit in the sense acquiring more land for the cultivation and also acquiring more cattle. So it was believed that the one who has more land and more animals, he will be considered as the richest person in the society. I repeat once again, the one who was having a more land along with the more animal and pet animal, he was considered as the richest person in the society, because you may clear that the person one who was having a more land, he will be considered as a rich. But you may ask that, ma'am, what is the link with this animal and land? Yes, the land, in that time the animal was used for a cultivation of a land, plugging, for the purpose of a plugging, or to use animal in a agriculture, they need of more and more animals. Nowadays we can use machineries, tractors are there for the cultivation. In that time they used to use the ox, bull, such animal for the use of a cultivation. So they are the assumption that the person, one who was having land and more animal, he is the richest person, and they call land as a kshetra and the cultivation was called as a krushi. And we also notice that there is no use of iron. They don't know what is the iron in post-Vedic, Rigvedic period. They don't know use of iron. But then you may ask how they are doing a cultivation. They used to use the mature and processed plant as a charcoal. They used mature and processed plant as a charcoal to melt the metals, in the sense charcoal in the sense iddilu, that they used to use as a weapon, or wooden weapon they used to use for the agriculture. Then that is up to a economic system of the pre-Rigvedic period, children. Then move on to the political system. Political system is a combination of both social system as well as the economic, children. See children, I have simplified this top points, because when you read the textbook you may get a very big paragraph, but out of that paragraph I have summarized, only because when compared to the pre-Rigvedic period and post-Vedic period, there is a similarity between these four sections. Which are the four sections? Social, economic, political and religious. There you will get the similarity too. So that I took up the points which is clear to you, and so that you can remember and write on your examination. Question may comes like this: write a social system of a pre-Rigvedic period, write a religious system of a pre-Rigvedic period. So which are the points required you to remember and write? Only that point here I am repeating, children. Okay, now move on to the political system. How the political system was in a pre-Rigvedic period. Political system was consisted as a grama. Grama, it means village, and which was headed by the king. Clear, children? Grama in the sense village, which was headed by the king. And in the one particular village there may be a more village also, in the sense, you know, we can see Udupi. Next to Udupi you will get other place like what Kunjavetu is there, then you are nearby Manipal is there, like that. That is according to them, each place was considered as a village, and that locality or the grama was headed by the king, and there may be a one king or more than one king also was there in that time. So, and how the kingship was? Kingship was a hereditary in the sense, after the father, the son used to come for the rule. That is a hereditary system. So like that the kingship used to continue. Then how the political activities goes on? Political activity in the sense invention and expansion of the kingdom or the territory. How, for example, political things that you know which are our political affair, with whom we are making a peace agreement, treaties, all you know about the political affair which was going on present, right children? Like that only in previous period, political system referred to how we are ruling our particular place, how we are doing administration, and along with that how we are securing and how we are providing security to our people. Isn't it, children? That is nothing but a political system. You take at present how India was politically secured by our neighboring country. Isn't it, children? That is a political system. So in previous period, political system means a grama or the village headed by the king, and how you used to secure from the enemy. So the political activity mainly concerned with invention and expansion. Invention in the sense there may be a prediction or there may be a guess of a attack of an enemy. In that time they used to invade or invention or invade in the sense attacking the enemy to suppress their attack on the territories, and expansion in the sense so that where they are living, enemies where they are living, till their territory we can expand our territory. That was the expansion. Expansion in the sense only by attacking the enemies you can have victory on the territories of the enemy. So that is the main political aim of the king during that time. So political affair we can mention as a invention, and expansion is a expansion on other tribes. That is the main political aim, because in that time there is a existence of a tribe system. Tribe, you know, right? Tribe in the sense it is a group of a people living in a one particular place. That is considered as a tribe. So there is many tribe, and each tribe was consisted of a king. Clear, children? And these tribe people lives in a village or a grama. I hope now it is clear. See, tribe. These people live in a village, and it was headed by Raja. This is the system of a political tribe. So what they used to do? Raja used to, or the king used to attack on any one particular tribe so that he can expand his village. By attacking a king, he can do the expansion of a village so that these tribe also will come to your tribe. That is the main political affair of the political system. Then there is other, this is the outside system, you can see, which is outside system. Expansion and invention is a outside, in the sense to make your territory secure. To make your territory secure, children, you will do the expansion and you will do the invention to make your tribe safe from the enemies. But how you rule a tribe, inside the tribe how you will rule? So the tribe or village made a system called Sabha and Samiti. Is it clear, children? See, invention, I will repeat once again, invention and expansion. Invention and expansion is mainly for the purpose to protect your tribe and village from the enemies, okay? And whereas Sabha and Samiti is to rule inside the village and tribe, in the sense that how to administer your kingdom. You may have seen how to administer, in the sense we will be appointed as a chief minister, then home minister, finance minister, defense minister, isn't it, children? That is a administration within the country. So here to rule within the village they were appointed Sabha and Samiti. Sabha and Samiti is nothing but the assembly of a common people or a ministry along with the king, so that they can receive the advice, suggestion of a common people or the council of minister, depending upon they rule the common people. I repeat that Sabha and Samiti is nothing but the group of a people or council of minister who used to suggest, assist king in the matter of a administration. So this is up to a political system. In the political system you may also notice that attack on enemy. Who are the enemy, children? Here enemies are nothing but, you maybe remember in the last class I told Dasa, Pani and Dasyu. These are the enemies. Who are these? These are the tribes of Shudras. These people are considered as the enemies of remaining three classes. So their main intention is to save the three classes of the people out of these Shudras. So when I told that invention and expansion, they used to kill the enemies, in the sense Shudras, they used to kill, or few may be captured as a captive or the prisoner, to use them in the work of agriculture or use them as a slaves. That is the intention while attacking the enemy. Is it clear, children? That is the work of the political system. I repeat, Dasya, Pani and Dasyu, these are the types of Shudras. These were considered as the enemies of the political system, and by attacking them capturing, making them as a captive or a prisoner so that they can be used as a slaves of a agriculture. This is up to a political system. Then religious system. As I told, it is a Rigvedic period. In the religious system, there is a celebration of a yajna and yagas. Yajnas and yagas, and they used to do the yajnas and yaga. Why they used to do the yagas? Mainly, remember that this question was there in your exercise part. Why the people of the pre-Rigvedic period used to conduct the yajnas? They used to conduct yajna for two purposes. One is mainly to get the rain. Clear children? One is to get the rain, and second one is that to have a victory on enemies. One is to get the rain because so that if rain is proper on time, the cultivation of the crop will be good, so that you can live peacefully. So first purpose is that get the rain properly, and second one is that to have a victory on your enemies, that is these three classes of your enemy. Is it clear children? So who used to conduct the yajna? That is priest. Priest was called as a Hotru. This was also there for your exercise question, so that I have written priest was called as a Hotru. Then how the religious system, there is a belief of incarnation. Incarnation in the sense rebirth. People believe that one who died this birth, he will take a birth and he will come back. That is the concept of a rebirth. Incarnation, the concept of the incarnation was believed by the people, and there was a belief on a god Rudra. Rudra means that is the Lord Shiva. So people believed in the Lord Rudra, but they are unaware of a Lord Vishnu. They don't know the concept of God called Vishnu. Only they believed that there is a Lord of a Rudra, that is a Lord Shiva. He was considered as the creator of the world, and also they have noticed that Kshetrapati in the sense he was a god of a cultivation. All the rituals, all the yajnas were sacrificed to Kshetrapati, and there is nearly 250 shlokas. 250 shlokas were dedicated to Lord Indra, because the Lord Indra was considered as a god, one who brings the rain. So when they are making the yajnas, in that when 250 shlokas are dedicated to the Lord Indra for the purpose of the rain, and goddess Sita Devi, she was considered as a god of a land. These are the beliefs of a people during that time. Children, I hope till now it is clear. Mainly we have to refer social system, economic system, political system and religious system. What you have to do in the sense, once again after the lesson you have to read the textbook and make the point which is easy to you, mark and keep, so that it will easy to remember when you are reading. Okay children, remaining part I will continue in the next class. See you.